It is really bright out here. I'm trying to adjust. Ah! There we go. Okay, so I got someone asked me a question about, they were looking at getting goats and wanted to know what the best feeders were. The best feeders and waters. And I can't really answer that type of question because it basically all goes off of what's most comfortable for you, what you like best, and it goes off of what your goats like best. So I was just going to show you what we have, because we are all about, I'll show you the things that we had given to us, what we did with them, and the things that we actually went out and purchased. So I guess I could start, if you can see, we have this great big huge barn. It's just a regular pole barn that is behind me. And I don't know what you guys can see, but as you can see, the door that's open, that is our buck pen. So there's one door that opens this way, there's one door that opens that way. So right now I have the buck pen opened. If I close his pen, I can open up the other door and let the girls out, which is awesome. This, all the way around me, is all the goat pen. That's what we're gonna say. It's the goat pen. I don't even know if I'm still recording because it's so bright out here. It is! So, we're in the middle of breeding season, and it's really chaotic out here because I still have to make my birthing stalls. So far, this is what they look like. No. Okay, so we went with, because we're in northern Michigan, ice freeze is really easy. We ended up buying this heated pet bowl. They're $16 at, just look up heated pet bowl. You'll find them. I can't remember the name of the store that sells them, but it starts with an R. But we found them online. We had one for all of them to share. And then we had to put Clark, our buck, in his own pen. So what I used was, and I think I still have it, and it worked really well, we just used a thermos. Let's see if I can get my hands on it. You see this guy? So what I would do is I would take extremely like boiling hot water, not boiling hot, but really hot water, pour it in there, and it did not freeze overnight. Because it's so cold anyway, it cooled the water down enough for him to drink out of it right away. But it also heated up the insulation on the inside and kept the water from freezing. So that is an option. We ended up buying 3 more of these bowls to go in the kidding stalls. We got these little plastic, they're dirty right now. It's not actual dirt, it's minerals. This is what I feed my girls their alfalfa mix out of. If you watch one of my other videos, that one's frozen, because that's how life works. What I do is I take really hot water and I dump it in there, and then I will take like 3 handfuls of alfalfa pellets, stick in there with their minerals, mix it all up, and it makes this amazing type of oatmeal for goats. Imagine being pregnant and your #1 craving is oatmeal. That's what the goats are eating. They love it. Then we have this guy that we made. And honestly, I don't even know how I constructed this. It just worked. So I did 2 triangle sections. And then there's a 2x4 here. And a piece of wood down here to keep all the hay in. And then what I did was I wrapped chicken wire around. So it's big enough for the goats to be able to pull hay out of, but not big enough for them to waste a bunch of hay on the ground. So there's that. The other thing that I have to say about this is be careful, because sometimes goats won't be careful when they're pulling hay out of here, and they will rub their noses raw on this. My goats don't, but some goats will. So be cautious of that. If you have something like this type of wire here, sorry, this is my mess back here, but I keep the goats out of it by putting this wire up. So Clark, my buck, he was 4 months old when we first got him. He can get all of the girls can get their heads in here, but the girls don't have horns. So they don't get stuck by reaching their head in and out. Clark has horns. So he can get stuck, but he doesn't for long because he just pokes his chin out because he's only Nigerian dwarf. So that is my tip, is to go with a smaller type of wire so they can't, especially babies, can't get in there and choke on the wire. I put a lid on mine. As you can tell, we just drop hay down in there. And the reason I put lid on there is because we have cats. They're not supposed to be in the barn, but when they do come in the barn, I noticed that they were nesting in the goat hay, and the goats will not touch, which they shouldn't. The goats will not touch the hay after a cat's been in there. Also, we have chickens, as you can tell, that little ploopy mark. Sometimes the chickens come over from their coop, and we do not want to get any chicken poop in there because that would be bad for the goats. There's all sorts of diseases that come with chicken and cat feces. And so there's that. I was telling you about these trays before I got sidetracked. I got them from an auction. Any kind of bowl or tray that is kind of a thicker plastic that a goat can trample on that won't get crushed. So I have those. The other thing that we bought was these mineral feeders. Sorry about the mess. Like I said, we're trying to reconstruct our entire barn, as you can tell, to make room for kidding stalls. And my girls, which is why they have the bed now, because they used to bed over here, and they were angry with us for moving them around. They like their routine, and we changed it up a bit. This is another thing that I constructed. It worked pretty well. So those drop side cribs that you can find all day long because they're actually illegal to sell. We found one on the side of the road for free, and we converted it. So this is the mattress. See how it's springy? The mattress base part to it with a piece of fencing, and then I put a top on it to keep the chickens out. But a bale of hay will easily slide right in there. And then we have also down here, you can tell that we're in the middle of remodeling because I don't have hay out here. This is an old truck bed or toolbox for a truck. It was on the side of the road. I think you can find these at an auction for like $10, $15 all day long. This one is busted out because the locks are locked and the owner couldn't find the keys, so he was giving it away. We took it because the goats can climb on there and eat. So if you are a fan of eclectic things and you don't mind things being mismatched, as you can tell, that's kind of my style. You can get things for free all day long and repurpose them. You just have to use your noggin. You got to use your brains. So that worked really, really well for us because the goats will actually climb up on the truck bed and they will pull hay down from here. There's no waste. As you can tell, my floors are pretty good. We also got this guy, which I'm sure is a very rare find, but a lady was on and she wanted to know if anyone had any goats for this. She didn't feel comfortable giving it away to somebody because it has the slide is broken right here. So I said, sure, I'll take it. So there's that. The fencing that we have is from my husband. It is actually highway panel for concrete. He is in the concrete construction business, so I do not know if this is something that you can come across cheaply. We got ours for a heck of a steal because my husband's awesome like that and he does concrete. So these panels are 25 foot by, I think, 8 foot high, 25 by 8. So what my husband did is he actually went through and cut them all in half, and that will give you a 4-foot fence by 25. This whole panel costs us 25 bucks, and you can see it has done from that board all the way